Not all laptops are created equal. You probably know that. But what you don't know is where exactly the invisible line is drawn. The line between a machine that makes you money, a machine that wastes your money, and a machine that is just completely overpriced. If you walk into a store today or browse online, you are immediately bombarded with confusing numbers. Core Ultra, Ryzen AI, RTX 50 series, unified memory, OLED, and IPS. It is designed to overwhelm you. It is designed to make you panic buying something you don't need or cheap out on something that will break your workflow in just 6 months. Today we are cutting through the marketing garbage and we are ranking every single laptop tier in the market in 2026. From the $300 plastic paperweight to the $4,000 desktop replacement. We are going to look at the exact specs you are looking for and the hidden bottlenecks that every brand don't want you to know about, and the exact price to performance sweet spot. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what the tier that you need and which ones are the absolute traps. Let's start at the absolute bottom, Tier E and Tier D. This is a sub 500 category. You see this on the front page of Amazon or stocked up at retail stores during back-to-school sales. This is where you find processors with names like Celeron, Pentium, or the generic Intel N series. I need to be brutally honest with you. These aren't laptops. They are Chrome browsers with keyboard attached and a barely functioning one at that. The brand will advertise this as great for students or perfect for basic tasks. But here is the reality of basic tasks in 2026. Web pages are heavy, Google Chrome eats more memory for breakfast, running Windows 11 alone requires significant chunk of processing power just to keep the background task operating. When you buy a laptop in this tier, you're usually getting 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM and a slow flash storage instead of a real NVMe solid-state drive. If all you do is open one Google Doc, it is fine. But the moment you open YouTube videos, 5 browser tabs, and Spotify, the system completely chokes. The CPU hits 100% utilization, the fan sounds like a dying hairdryer, and your mouse cursor starts freezing. In 2026, buying a laptop with 8 gigs of RAM is buying an e-waste. It will obsolete the moment you take it out of the box. Do not fall for the cheap price tag. Avoid this entirely. Save your money, stretch your budget, and wait until you can step up. Because a jump to the next level changes your entire relationship with your computer. Welcome to the real world. Tier C. Tier C is where 80% of everyday users actually belong. This is the $500 to $800 mainstream range. When you step into Tier C, you're finally getting a real modern silicon. We're talking about Intel Core i5s, AMD Ryzen 5s, and a strict minimum of 16GB of RAM. This is the baseline standard for a functioning computer today. At this tier, the laptop actually gets out of your way, your boot times are fast, apps open instantly, you can jump between a Zoom call and a massive spreadsheet without your laptop begging for mercy. This is also the tier where dedicated graphics finally enters the chat. You start seeing laptop equipped with the Nvidia RTX 4050. Now, the 4050 is not breaking any benchmark records, but it opens the door to a whole new world. You can do light photo retouching, basic coding, and you can comfortably play the most competitive games at 1080p. But you have to ask yourself, how are the manufacturers giving you this performance for under $800? The catch is always the physical build. To hit these price points, brands cut corners on the things that don't show up on a spec sheet. The screen will usually lack color accuracy, making it terrible for professional video color grading. The chassis will be entirely plastic, meaning the hinges might get loose after a year, and the trackpad will feel a bit slow. Tier C is a workhorse, not a show horse. It will get the job done, but it won't feel luxurious while doing it. But what if you want more? What if you want the absolute best value for money? The tier where the hardware actually pays for itself because it accelerates your workflow. You want the tier B, $800 to $1,200 price range. The sweet spot. This is where things get serious. You upgrade from entry-level chips to heavy hitters. AMD Ryzen 7s, Intel Core i7, and Apple's base M4 processor. You also step up to the RTX 4060 or the new 5060 mobile GPUs. This is the exact tier that bridges the gap between casual use and professional creation. It is the tier that lets you scrub through a massive 4K video timeline in CapCut Pro or DaVinci
Music
Resolve or
licensing
Premiere Pro,
reimagined.
or run a heavy AAA gaming session without your laptop thermal throttling into oblivion. Let me give you a perfect example of how to play this tier to your advantage. You can pick a machine like Lenovo LOQ15. It lives comfortably in the price bracket. If you make sure it is equipped with a Ryzen 7 processor and an RTX card, you already have a powerhouse. But the real secret of Tier B Windows laptop is upgradability. If you take that
Artlist.io.
machine, open the back, and manually upgrade the RAM to 32 gigs, you have just created a professional workstation. For a freelance video editor doing a heavy long-form 4K cuts, that specific combination gives you 90% of rendering performance of a laptop that costs twice as much. And if you have
Music
zero interest in
licensing
PC gaming,
reimagined.
the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Air lives in Tier B. The Apple Silicon architecture is so efficient that these laptops don't even have cooling fan inside them. They are dead silent. They stay ice cold on your lap, and the battery life is almost unnatural. For
Artlist.io.
pure productivity, coding, or writing, the MacBook Air is arguably the undisputed king of Tier B. But let's say you're a professional, you're making a living on your machine, and you're willing to pay the premium tax. Welcome to Tier A, the $1,500 to
Music
$2,800
licensing
high-end
reimagined.
creator class. This tier isn't just about opening apps faster. This is about eliminating wait times. When you are rendering complex 3D environments or exporting massive client projects, time is money. In Tier A, you find the Ryzen 9s, the Ultra 9s, and the Apple M5 Pro chips. You will find the RTX 5070 and 5080 laptop GPUs. But the biggest difference between Tier A and
Artlist.io.
Tier B isn't actually raw speed, it is the quality of life. When you spend over $1,500, you stop compromising. Those cheap plastic bodies from Tier C are replaced by CNC milled aluminum or magnesium alloys. The dim washout screens are replaced by
Music
stunning
licensing
3K or
reimagined.
4K OLED panels with perfect color accuracy and 120Hz refresh rates. The speaker actually sounds like a studio monitor. The cooling systems features vapor chambers and liquid metal thermal paste, meaning the laptop can run at maximum speed for hours without
Artlist.io.
overheating. This is the tier for creative director, a senior software engineer, and a hardcore enthusiast who wants a desktop level gaming experience in a backpack. You are paying high premium, but you are buying a flawless experience. Then finally, we reach the summit, Tier S, the
Music
workstation
licensing
class.
reimagined.
$3,000 to $4,000 and beyond. Let's get one thing straight. You probably don't need an S tier laptop. Almost nobody does. These are Halo products. They are engineered to handle workloads that would traditionally require a massive desktop tower sitting under a desk. At the top of the Windows food chain, you are looking at the RTX 5090 mobile GPUs. These machines are thick, they are heavy, and they require a massive power bricks. They are
Artlist.io.
built for running local AI models, executing real-time physics simulations, and driving multiple 4K displays simultaneously. But the true king of Tier S, the machine that completely disrupts this category, isn't running Windows. It is the 16-inch MacBook Pro fully loaded with the
Music
M5 Max.
licensing
Apple's
reimagined.
architecture does something Windows laptop simply cannot do. Unified memory. Instead of the CPU having its own RAM and the graphics card having its own separate memory, the CPU and GPU share the exact same massive pool of ultra-fast memory. We are
Artlist.io.
talking up to 128 gigabytes of unified RAM. If you're editing incredibly dense, multicam 4K or 8K projects, applying heavy color grades, and running motion graphics all at the same time, nothing touches the M5 Max. And it does it
Music
all with a
licensing
battery power
reimagined.
without dropping performance. But you will pay absolute top dollar for the privilege. So, where do you belong? Look at your workflow. Look at your routine. If you're a student or an office worker who needs a reliable computer for everyday life, get Tier C. Buy something with an Intel i5 or Ryzen 5. Make sure it has a 16 gigs of RAM and don't look back. If you are an aspiring creator, a freelancer, or a gamer who wants the absolute best dollar to frame ratio on earth, live in Tier B. It is the sweet spot for the entire industry. If your laptop is the engine that runs the business, buy Tier A or Tier S and write it off your taxes. The biggest mistake you can make in tech is buying for the ego and not for the workflow. Stop overspending on marketing buzzwords, avoid the e-waste at the bottom, and start buying hardware that actually matters on what you do. So, where do you belong? Put your answers in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.